Hey guys, welcome back. I know I said I was putting things on pause until the weather warmed up a little bit because it's winter now. And looking out the window, it has not warmed up. In fact, I think it's supposed to snow a little bit today, maybe. However, so we're certainly not going to be spraying anything. The panels of the Jeep are still too cold. The ambient air temperature in the garage here is too cold. We're not going to be spraying anything today. That said, we do have some mechanical work we can do. And if you've hung out with me for much of this project of working on this Jeep, you'll know that one of the things that unfortunately we wind up doing is the same job twice or even more than twice. Today, we're going to do a little bit of that. There's a step I did on this thing mechanically that a bunch of you called me out on, said I missed a step. So today, my plan is we're going to find out if you're right or if I did my job right. So don't go anywhere, strap in, grab a cup of coffee, let's dive in. So what the heck am I talking about? Well, I did the front end, put all the hub assembly back together, new bearings and all that stuff. And a couple of you called me out on the comments and said that I did not put the little snap ring around the little outside end of the axle shafts. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to leave the car in here. I think it's going to snow, so I don't want to take the car out and put it out in the snow. But I'm going to take my little heater, I'm going to move it up near the front axle. I have to move the hood. I might have to kind of get my masking paper up out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to disassemble that hub on the passenger side here, first of all, because it's the easiest one to get to, and see if you're right. Now, if you're right, thanks for the catch. If I did not miss that, well then, give me a break, man. Some of you guys treat me like I'm an idiot. No, I'm just kidding, but I mean, I don't know. Sometimes the comments get a little ruthless on this thing. But I got a thick hide, I can take it. So let's find out who's right. You guys called it. I missed that snap ring. So where it goes is in that groove right there, and it's got to go against the inside of this hub here. So if I slide this thing back on, we got to have enough of that shaft coming out to make room for the snap ring to go in there. And you can see it's a fair chunk of shaft there. Now, this thing does go in and out a little, and it seems like it'd be easier if it didn't, but I'll mess around with that a little bit and get that on there. But again, thanks guys who called me out in the comments. I missed that, and that would have probably caused us some grief down the road somewhere. All right guys, I'm going to bring you in for a close-up here. I have the snap ring on. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll kind of move the camera around a little bit and the light, but it's on there now. All right, guys, well, I owe you a beer or a cup of coffee or something. You definitely told me the truth when you left me comments on that video when I first put this front end back together and said, hey, dummy, you left that snap ring out. Now, I'm kind of getting used to mean comments occasionally, so I think I probably didn't take that. Yes, I did. I took it seriously, and I decided it was worth opening up and check it out, and you were right. So, again, thanks for bringing that to my attention. I don't know that I would have caught that without, maybe if I found these snap rings laying on the bench, I'd have been wondering, where am I missing those from? But a couple of tips I'm going to give you if you're doing this a Dana 30 by yourself, and maybe I'll bring you down here and show you what I'm talking about. So hang on one second. Okay, so here we are up close and personal with our axle here. I put this cap back on. There's two tips I want to give you. First of all, make sure your hub is in freewheeling mode or two-wheel drive, because if it's in four-wheel drive, there is a spring inside of the hub, and you can see right now it's pushing that cap out. So you're working against that spring pressure the whole time. So I think maybe I pointed the camera somewhere else, but as you turn this, you can see how it's now spring loaded. Just makes it, you know, tough to get your little screws, these little hex head things, in and out of there. So if you put it in freewheeling mode, it's much easier. Do not put this on until you've got these bolts torqued down. These are 9/16 bolts, and the reason is, with that cap there, you can't get your socket on the bolt. So I got a little ahead of myself and I put that back on already. I'm going to take it off again, and I've got my torque wrench down here in the box. We're going to pop that out, torque these 9/16 bolts down. I checked on the internet and I swear they're telling me 75 pounds on these things. Now I've got grade 8 bolts in there, so they'd probably take it, but that feels like a lot of torque to me. So I'm not sure I'm going to put them at 75 pounds to begin with. I might go to 50 and see how that feels. If I feel like I'm going to break a bolt off, I might leave it there. So I'll pop this off real quick, torque those down. I probably won't make you watch me do that because it's just torquing them down. And then I'll put this back on, and I'll pull my wheel back over and throw it back on here and go ahead and do the other side. Now, I won't make you watch me do the other side. You've already watched me do one side, and you've already watched me do this whole job once before, so we're getting on to repeat mode there. But, you know, if you're doing your own Dana 30 front end, hopefully this will be a little bit helpful. You kind of get the routine down. Now, what I did, again, just to make that axle shaft poke out far enough so that my snap ring could go into that slot that's on the end of the shaft, is I kind of had to get a screwdriver back in the steering knuckle and push against the back of the shaft knuckle there and just push it out far enough, because when you push that hub on there as it's sliding down the splines, there's some resistance and you're obviously kind of pushing your axle shaft back into the center of the differential. So you get everything in there and the axle is in there, and there's no real good way to pull it out from the outside, so you kind of have to get behind it in that knuckle or something and push. And I'll probably have to do the same thing on the other side, but yeah, once you do that, it goes just fine. Gets out there far enough, you get your snap ring pliers and put your thing on there and make sure it pops in so that it won't come off, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna leave this here for now. I don't know that I got anything else I can do out here today. Probably wrap this up and get it in the can for you. But hopefully, if the weather stays cold or too cold to paint, which I think it is going to, I think it's gonna snow today, we'll find a few other odds and ends. Maybe we can get on those brake lines over there, we can get our alternator put in, or this or that. Some mechanical things while we're waiting for it to warm up enough to get back to our tub. So thanks for watching. I'll wrap this up for now, and I'll see you next time around.